Let's get some price picks in today, guys. Last night, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, was terrible. It was like one of the worst nights I've had in a while. We're going to get into a little recap here. I gave out 5 slips. Obviously, none of them hit. There's 6 mans, but even just the individual hit rate was not good. See, this first slip went 3 and 3. Second slip went 2 and 4. This one went 1 and 5. This one went 1 and 4. And then this one went 3 and 3. And I also gave out some other picks from the dashboard. So Tyler Hero over first quarter assist did hit. There's also Devin Booker under points, which hit. Devin Booker under PRA, which hit. And then Shea over points plus assists got hooked at 37. So overall, I did calculate it, and it was a 14 and 19 day. So not good at all, right? 14 wins, 19 losses. And this is going to happen on a single day. This is called a small sample size. When you're playing on a one day, literally anything can happen. Take KD, for example. This guy's going to average around 27 points, right? But there's definitely going to be those games where he only gets like 15 or 12 points, something like that. That's kind of like what I think about it when I'm playing on price picks. I'm not expecting to win every single day, and I might have off days. But then there's that one day that I'm going to drop 40 points in a day. I'm going to cash all kinds. And I show you this in the Discord. Look, minus 10.8 units last night. That was kind of the worst night in a while. The last worst one was minus 7.2. And it goes all the way to January 20th, when was the last time I cracked minus 10 units, minus 13.2, minus 13.8. So bad days like this do happen, but it doesn't really matter. As I try to explain every video, I'm only playing 6 flexes. So I don't need many of these to hit. I lost 5 units yesterday. If I hit today, for example, I wipe out the 5 units we just lost yesterday, and I'm up 20 units based on that. So that's kind of what happened last week, right? Lost this day. Pretty much broke even this day. Pretty much broke even this day. Broke even this day. Kind of broke even that day. And then I had a good day where we had 2 6 flexes. And that kind of wipes out all the losses. You can't see the number here at the bottom because of the overlay, but plus 26.8 units, even with 5 days of losses straight. So that's kind of what I'm trying to explain to you guys here on these 6 flexes. 90% of people are probably just playing 2 powers on price picks, on the dog, whatever it be. And I just want to show you that the mathematical optimum way, like this, I'm not just doing this out of nowhere. I'm choosing 6 flexes because these payouts are exactly the same, no matter if you're taking over or under. So you could actually calculate what is the individual hit rate you need for each of these slips to be profitable. Flex plays 6 mans, 5 mans, 4 mans, 2 mans, whatever it may be. You could calculate what the actual break-even hit rate on a single prop is. And I have a video on this in the annotations if you still don't understand that. I've explained it before, but it's really going to open your eyes to see why it's actually more profitable to play 6 flexes in the long run. I'm not saying over one night. If you're playing 1 6 flex a night, you're not going to go up in the long run. I'm telling you that now. You have to be playing like 10 per day, and they have to be profitable picks. You can't just be grabbing anyone. Can't just be looking at the popular tab, grabbing the last 5 and throwing them into 6-man. You're not going to be profitable that way. You have to mix in positive expected value with correlations. Think of associations between players. How does Kobe White's play affect DeMar DeRozan's play? Are these guys going to get more minutes tonight? Maybe both go over tonight. Things like that you have to be taking into consideration. And then you're going to be able to build profitable 6-man slips, which I do in the Discord. Even though last night went terrible, that's just one night sample size. In the long run, as I've been showing, this is kind of how the graph looks, right? You're going to have the ups. You're going to have the downs. You're going to have even bigger downs. But in the end, you're always going to be going up, because you're playing high volume of 6 flexes, reducing the variance, which means you're reducing the luck factor, and then in the end, you're going up, assuming your picks are profitable. Tonight, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 2 6 flexes, then 10 positive expected value plays straight from the OddsJuice dashboard, and essentially a lot of these picks I'm making are just straight positive expected value picks from the dashboard, or a mix of, some associations between players like Jaren Jackson and Santi. So I'll get into this one just to start. So I want to go Jaren Jackson over points here, and then Santi under 12.5 points. But the thing is, Jaren Jackson on price picks is set at 26, and that's too high. Like, every half point counts, guys. Go check your recent history and check how many times you lost by a half point, how many times you would have got a push if you had an extra point, right? It's a lot. It happens very often. So I don't want to take Jaren Jackson Jr. at 26 points when I could go on underdog and get him at 25.5 points. Now, if he gets exactly 26, I win here. On price picks, I would just push. So that's why I took that association here. Jaren Jackson on the over points, Santi on the under points, then Dylan Brooks on the over 15.5 points. That's just a straight positive expected value play. I'll show you that one in a second here. So instead here on price picks, I grab the under rebounds and the under points. That's also another association I found through my data analysis. So I grab these 2 guys on the under, and they both have juice towards the under. Next, I like this one. This is like a triple stack, right? Think of the NFL when you're grabbing, Mahomes with Kelsey and Rice. This is I'm going Tyrese Halliburton. It's not exactly the same at all. It's not even close to the same, but there's still a bit of an association here. These guys are all likely to go over if they're all getting a lot of minutes and if the game is tight. Let me show you the game here tonight. It's a minus 3.5 spread towards the Pacers. Toronto at home, so already low spread. It's going to be a tight game. Not only that, it's a 245 total. So high pace game, Of course, when the Pacers are in the game, it's going to be high pace. So high total and tight spread, which means a lot of points, but not only just a lot of points for like bench players, a lot of points for the starters, because the starters are going to be on, especially if it's like a 5-point game towards the last few minutes. That's why the total doesn't always tell the full picture. If it's a high total, but minus 15.5 spread, yeah, the whole bench could be getting all those points. It doesn't really matter if the total's high. But in this case, you have the low spread and the high total, meaning the starters are actually be getting the good end of these high points. So what I have here is a script where Tyrese Halliburton is not scoring, he's getting his assists as he usually does, and he's getting over 11.5 assists. The main people who are going to benefit from the assists are these starters in Miles Turner and Naismith, who sort of have lower point totals, but also they have a lot of assisted field goals made, right? Only 17.1% of Naismith's points are going to be unassisted. It means a good majority are going to be assisted, and if the main assister is Tyrese Halliburton, you could put 2 and 2 together and figure out, yeah, if Naismith's getting points, Halliburton is also going to be getting assists. He's going to be assisting Naismith. Same thing with Miles Turner here. 82.2% of his field goals are assisted, which means he's going to be getting a lot of assisted points from Halliburton. I didn't throw Siakam in here because he's a bit different. A lower portion of his field goals made are assisted, and then just lower point totals in general for Naismith. He builds off Halliburton way better than Siakam does. Miles Turner, again, if these games are all going down to the wire, lots of minutes, he's going to be getting more minutes for those points, rebounds, and assists. So that's why I'm loving this Indiana triple stack. And then here we have a Champions League game here. That might mean nothing to you. It's soccer, but good value on these soccer picks. Prizepicks kind of sleeps on them way more than NBA. NBA is much harder to beat. So I have a nice soccer pick here on Martin Zubimendi under 2.5 tackles. Just note it's a positive expected value play. And if you check on Bet365, his under 2.5 tackles is at minus 150. His over is at plus 110. If you throw that into a little calculator here, again, if these numbers mean nothing to you, it basically means he has a 55.75% chance to go under. It's not 100%, it's not even 60%, but 55.75 is enough to be profitable. Again, if you don't understand that, watch the video in the annotations from before. That is a profitable pick in a 6 flex and 5 flex. That is the first step. And the second step I want to show you here is this one here. So Brandon Ingram on the under 36.5 PRA. This slip in general is just more of a positive expected value play, except for this association between the Atlanta Hawks players here. So Ingram under 36.5 PRA. CJ over 4 rebounds. Very nice line here. I think it's set a bit too low here. At 4, we get some very nice push potential. Then I went Sadiq Bey on the over 14.5 points with Trae Young on the under 24.5 points. Similar concept that I show in other videos. When one guy is going over, it's less likely for the other guy to be also going over. But Bey is juiced towards the over. Trae Young is juiced towards the under. That's why I went for that combination. Now, on these rebounds, I'm not really going for a big association that if DeMar's getting more rebounds, Caruso's getting less. Honestly, Caruso just has heavy juice towards the under 3.5 rebounds. I don't think he got bumped yet or removed, so it's still on the board. Under 3.5 rebounds, and I grabbed DeMar over 3.5 rebounds. It's not a big association, but, if DeMar does steal 1 rebound from Caruso, it does help, right? We get to 4 rebounds, and he might still be at 3. Let's say they even steal 1 rebound from each other, or, DeMar steals 1 from Caruso. We got 1 extra rebound for DeMar, 1 less for Caruso. So there's a slight association. That's not exactly what I'm going for here, though. That's the 2 6-months, and now I got 10 positive EV plays for you guys here. So straight from the OddsJuice dashboard. Very simple. It's very simple. I just refresh the board. I go to NBA 1Q. I go to NBA, whatever it may be. This is all automated. It shows me the best positive EV plays. So on Buddy Hield here, first quarter, I'm liking the under 5 points. So this is set at 4.5 on the sports books. They're saying there's a 48% chance that he goes under 4.5 points. We're getting him at 5 points. Now when he gets 1 bucket and a 3, we're actually pushing rather than losing. On a sports book, if he gets 1 bucket and a 3, we lose the prop. Here we're getting a push at the very least. So if he only gets 2 buckets without a 3, we're winning. And if he gets a 2-pointer and a 3, we're at least push. So it's a big difference between 4.5 and 5. If I explain that right, you guys could see how that makes a big difference between 4.5 and 5, especially for a player like Buddy Hield who's going to be taking 3s. Now moving on to the NBA, just regular props here. We got a couple here. So a lot of these might be bumped because they're positive EV plays. It means they're too good to be on the board, which means they're going to bump them down to 7 assists, for example, on the Scottie Barnes. But this is one you could be looking at here. So Scottie Barnes under 7.5 assists, set at 55.75% likeness to go under. So the under on Scottie Barnes is the play, of course. Don't take the over. Then we have Jakob here on the under 24.5 PRA, also at about that 55.75. And then Nick Richards on the under 12.5 points, all at that 55.75%. So if you want to go grab Scottie Barnes under assists and take Jakob on the under PRA, that makes sense. That's a good association. Maybe if it's a blowout. This script is not really a blowout because they're versus the Pacers. But let's say, for example, if these guys are both trailing, maybe it's a low-paced game, you might want to take the unders together in the same slip. Tonight, I don't know if it's a good play because of the Pacers matchup. But in general, like if it's a slower matchup, maybe a blowout script, you might want to take 2 picks like this in the same entry. So these top 3 are all picks I didn't go over in the slips, so those are good. Tyrese Halliburton over 11.5 assists. As I said, it was a positive play, so I threw it in with Miles Turner and Naismith. So that one we already took. Then Jakob, again, on his under points, under PRA. Those are both good. Jalen Johnson over 15.5 points is good. Miles Turner is okay, right? And this is interesting, right? Because we took his over 26.5 PRA. There's still the rebounds and assists that were probably juiced, which means that Miles Turner over PRA is good, but his under points might not be. So this Miles Turner under 18.5 points could be like a hedge towards that over PRA if you want to throw that in a different entry. Then we got Victor Wembanyama on the under 10.5 rebounds, Paul George on the under 25.5 points, and then Bam on the under 11.5 rebounds. So these ones at the bottom, they trail, right? 54.5% likelihood to hit is kind of different from 55.75. It seems small, but it's an extra 1.2%. So obviously these ones at the top are much better than the ones at the bottom here. But if you were to use any of these props, that's an extra 1, 2, 3 that I would take. For sure, these top 3 are good. Then Tyrese already took. Jakob, if you're going to grab his under PRA, don't grab his under points too, because they're very correlated and associated. Then we got Jalen Johnson over 15.5 points. Then I would skip Miles Turner too and grab these 3 picks here. Paul George under points, Wemby on the under rebounds, and then Bam on the under rebounds. That's a lot of picks for you guys. Do what you want with those. Hopefully it goes better than last night. And like I said, last night was the worst night in a while. So hopefully these picks, do hit around those 56, 60%. Maybe we have a killer night tonight. So good luck, everyone.